Hello, hello, beautiful, beautiful friends. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Abigail, for inviting me here. I'm just over the moon, excited about living sacredly, sacred living, and just expressing my experiences, my pathways, and rewilding as it pertains to living sacredly. So thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm really excited to be here. And whether you guys are watching live or on the replay, my heart is filled with joy and love that you are here. So before we start, I want to say a prayer that is really meant to just open our heart and mind space, specifically for you as an individual, so that you can receive the message that you are meant to receive through this conversation that we are having today. So may this conversation be of the highest good to you and to I and to all in our rewilding and becoming open to receive the divine guidance for our lives. And so it is. Again, thank you so much. I am excited to be here. I am Aja Vansika of rewilding.com. And what I do simply and basically is I facilitate the conversations that ignite your authentic lifestyle. So today we're going to be talking about rewilding. I think that first I need to just talk about a little bit of background about the times that we're in, because they're really, really important for you to understand the rewilding process and how it relates to sacred living. So, things are changing, right? We all know this. Women, they're hearing the call from she. And this call is the call to rise in your truth and the truth of who you really are. This call, it asks us to trust ourselves. It asks us to listen to our gut, to our intuition, and it asks us to really move into making our innate feminine wisdom a part of our lives. And it also is us knowing that the hierarchy that presently exists is slowly being torn down. Hooray for that. So, this call is the remembrance of who you were before you forgot. This call can feel like a tapping deep down in your bone. It can feel like a whisper from your ancestors, or something in your belly that nags away at you, just saying, it's time. It's time. This call is a remembrance of a time before your powers were placed in the darkness. And it was called unholy, it was called taboo, it was called ungodly, it was called sacrilegious, and it taught you that you're supposed to live a different path in order for it to be right. It basically was a time that has taken away all of your sacredness. It untaught you how to live sacredly. But things are changing, right? Things are changing, hooray for that. And the reason why I know that is because you guys are part of this group and you're here today, live or on the replay, but we all know that things are changing because we, for the most part, most of us have heard that call. And women are gathering on and offline to rediscover their magic and to learn who they truly are so that they can begin living sacredly, authentically, and sacredly. So in discovering my authenticity and my living sacredness and my rewilding, I found that I am a witch and I'm a priestess of the way. A witch. Oh my gosh. I discovered the term witch a few years ago, and although I live as one, I still struggle from time to time with that label. Why? Because we all know what we were taught, what a witch was, right? Tell me. I'd love to hear what you have been taught, what a witch is. Please leave it in the comments. I definitely want to hear what you have been taught that this word witch is, or what this person witch is. So for me, a witch is a woman fully in her power. She knows how to follow her counsel, and she questions everything. She understands her light and her dark, and she understands that they are both necessary to live sacredly. She has, plain and simply, rewilded. So that's what I'm going to share with you today, just bits and pieces about rewilding, how to rewild, how to reconnect to your inner knowing so that you can trust your decision-making process, how to reconstruct your mind, your body, your soul to unlock your true spiritual path and your lifestyle practices, and in essence, your sacred living, and how to reintegrate those parts, how to reintegrate the parts of your truth into your life so that you can live authentically, so that you can live sacredly. So sisters, let's begin. What is rewilding? Rewilding for me is it's a self-discussion and discovery process, and it takes you back to the remembrance of who you are. It is the dumbing down and the reinitiating yourself in the simplest pathways of exploration and removing the chaos and frustrations that we so often find ourselves engrossed in just because we're just trying to figure out what our truth is. And we really don't need all of the things and all of the stuff to teach us all of the things and all of the stuff. We just don't. We don't need all of the things that we think we need in order to find our true path. We just need the very basics. We need the essentials of life. And rewilding is all about you finding the answers to those questions, but mainly one. And that question is how to feel good. So, of course, when you find the answer to that one question, how to feel good, it solves so many other problems in your life. It solves the should I questions, the how to questions, the why should I questions. It solves the who, what, where, when, why, and how. If any of you all have children and you know the little young children, that is, Busy Town song, who, what, where, when, why, and how. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. So my son is 10, my youngest son is 10, but I remember that song so vividly because we have those questions in our lives every day, especially if you are an entrepreneur. It is the who, what, where, when, why, and hows. And when you are talking about sacred living, then those questions come up as well. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. So let's talk about how you can begin rewilding. So the rewilding process is all about your feelings. Now, your rewilding, when you begin this rewilding and you start to really lean into it, it's going to teach you personally what living sacredly means to you. Sacred living is not something that someone can teach you. Sacred living is about you going back to the center of who you are and learning to trust that what is coming up for you, what your body is telling you, is the truth for you. What I believe sacred living is can be something that's completely different than what you believe sacred living is. And it's neither one of us are wrong. Neither one of us is wrong. It's only about what's right for you. And that's the beauty of living sacredly, is that we all have our roles in this world. We all have our way of doing things that is of the highest good for the collective. So I was just having this conversation, probably the beginning of this month. And in this conversation, I was talking about how when someone that I know was wanting me to do something for them, and I didn't want to do it. I was just so put off by it, y'all. Sweet sisters, I did not want to do it. But here I am. I'm a priestess. Aren't I supposed to want to help my sisters? Wasn't I supposed to want to help her? I drove over there, fussing and kicking the whole way, drove to her house, and I served her in the best way that I could, in the way that she needed for me to. And I left and I cried my butt off all the way home. Why? Because I was serving in a way that was not in alignment with who I truly am. And when it comes down to it, we all serve in different ways. And that's what living sacredly comes down to, is that we are being of service. We're called to be of service in a different way. Doesn't mean that we're all going to be coaches, or we're all going to be healers, or we're all going to be conversationists like I am. I hold sister circles. That's where I have found that my best way to serve is through conversating and through igniting these different sparks so that you can figure out how you want to serve best. So how do I do that? How do I begin to really find how I am supposed to live sacredly? That is what rewilding is all about. So this is what I want for you to do, whether you're here live or on the replay. I always, I love to do prompts. I love them. And a lot of the prompts that we go through in the Wild Moons gatherings that I facilitate, they run just like this. It's always about figuring out something, breaking out your pen and your paper, and sharing. What I have found just miraculously is that through sharing, then you have the most profound transformation, the most profound growth. And it's not just about your growth either. It's about your sister's growth too, right? It's about the woman next to you. And it's about the woman next to you to this side. And it's the woman sitting across from you. It's about the growth of all of us. So, but of course, you need to begin with yours. But you also need to realize that with sharing, yes, it is a profound way for you to grow too. But when that sister next to you hears what you've shared, then she's able to gain her own perspective in a way that she didn't even think she didn't even think about. That's one thing that I personally love about sitting in circle, is that when you hear the shares of these other women, it's like, wow, I didn't even know that I could resonate with something like that. Or, oh my goodness, I never even thought about it that way. Or, I never thought about that. How do I feel about that? And how am I internalizing this? Do I even want to internalize it? You get what I'm saying? So here's what I want for you to do. If you are unable to break out a pen and paper, then I want for you to just really listen and answer these questions in your heart. How do you want to feel when you wake up in the morning? How do you want to feel when you are interacting with your clients, or when you're on the job with your coworkers, with your boss? How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel when you are with your family and with your friends and with your significant other? How do you want to feel? How do you want to feel when you are worshiping? How do you want to feel when you are in the midst of your spiritual practices, whatever those are? Or how do you want to feel as you are going about your day? How do you want to feel every day? This seems like a really, really trivial question. And it is, because we don't think about how we want to feel. And we certainly don't think about how we want to feel as a sacred living being. But this is the beginning. This is the start. So as you're writing this, I don't want you to overthink it. We can do that so much. And I'm a Virgo, so I have the tendency to overthink how to boil a pot of water. So that's awful, I know. But just don't think about it. Whatever comes to your heart, your mind, or your soul, just write it down. There is no right or wrong here. Whatever's coming up for you, just write it. Just write it down. So when you have come to the conclusion here of things that have come up for you, maybe 10 things, 20, whatever the amount, there's just more than 5, I hope, then what I want you to do is to just take a look at what's popping out for you. Just grab your paper and just look at the words on the paper and think about what's popping out for you, what's coming up. And I want you to share those here, whether you're live or on the replay. If you don't feel like doing that at this very moment, then that's fine too. You can share it later. But I'd love to hear what some of the words are that you came up with. Okay? So great. So over the next few days, what I want for you to do is to narrow down those words to 5. And when you narrow down those 5, this is the beginning of your sacred living. This is how you're going to figure out how you're going to be living sacredly and how you're going to be of service to yourself and the collective. It starts with you. It starts right here. This is the beginning. So I'm so excited for you in this. But with these 5 words that you've narrowed it down to, I want for you to write down what each of those words mean for you. If you want to look it up in the dictionary, go for it. But know that whatever comes up for you is correct. So I'll tell you one of my words. One of my words is wild-hearted. And what wild-hearted means to me is being uncontrollable in the pursuit of my pleasure. Uncontrollable in the pursuit of my pleasure and my happiness. Okay? Wild-hearted may mean something else to you, and it's not wrong. We're both right. That's the beauty of living sacredly and living your authentic lifestyle, is that it's yours. It's nobody else's, it's yours. So there is no wrong. It's only right for you. So I just recently reevaluated my words. And so about a year ago, one of my words was elegance. So what elegance meant for me was, it was about, not about the clothes that I wore. I've got on a t-shirt. This is me. I've got on a t-shirt and some leggings, and there's really nothing elegant about what I'm wearing. My hair isn't done up all, in an elegant way. I don't have pretty, whatever elegant earrings on or anything. I don't even have any jewelry on my fingers. My nails need to be redone. I am in no way what people may generally think that elegance means. For me, what the word elegance meant for me was about my surroundings. I made my space, my home, into an altar. Every room that I walked in was some place that I was able to feel a sense of devotion, a sense of love and compassion, a sense of elegance. I love flowers. I love pillows. I always have flowers. I always have some kind of pillows in my rooms. So those are the kind of things that I wanted to see that made me feel elegant. So you get what I'm saying? Just because it's a word that may not mean exactly what it says in the dictionary, or what someone else may think, or even what popular society may think that a word means, it doesn't have to mean that to you. Okay? And why this is so important for you to really put definitions to those words is because this is how you live sacredly. This is the beginning. This is your roadmap to making your decisions. You will now have the beginnings to reclaiming your wild. It is all going back to that. Your sacred living is completely attached to you rewilding. It's the beginning of how you figure out what you're supposed to be doing. The answers that you're supposed to be given to questions that people ask you. It's how you determine the services and the products for your business. It's your goal setting. And I love this so much, that this is your goal setting, because a lot of us, as women, we've been taught that we're supposed to goal set this way. No, you have to do it this way. You have to base it off of these questions, A, B, C, D, and E. When in essence, the goal setting that we've been using is really based off of men. Oh, honey. Talking baby girl to school. We'll come back up. Yes. I'll see you later, honey. Love you, girl. Anyway, so we've been taught that goal setting is this over here, when it's really what we've been doing has really been based off of how they relate to goal setting, and how it's best for them to achieve their goals. But for us, we're women. We're feelings based. Everything that we do it comes from a place of our heart and our middle section. It's deep. So why are we setting our goals in the same way that they are? No. Because we are feelings led, then we need to be basing our goals off of our feelings. We need to be setting our goals off of our feelings. So, and it goes back to also what your idea of success is, what your idea of sacred living is. And these 5 words will help you to figure out what the success word means to you, what living sacred means to you, and how you want to show up and how you want to go about doing that. These words are your answers. It may sound really, really crazy, but these are your complete answers to living sacredly and showing up and goal setting. It's your answers to everything. So for me, when I am trying to set a goal, I ask myself, is this in alignment with one of the words that I want to feel? And if it's not, then the answer is no. Now, I'm not going to tell you that it was easy to get to that, because it wasn't. The one thing that is not is impossible. And I'm really, really excited to tell you all that, because practice does make progress. So I call these feelings that I'm getting in my cafe. I'm sitting in my cafe, my core aligned feelings every day. So my cafe is what I use to make all of my decisions, to set up all of my goals. How do I want to feel today? It's that goal, that is my goal, is how I want to feel today. And then from there, I can go through the who, what, when, where, why, and hows. If I want to feel wild-hearted, what's going to allow me to feel wild-hearted? If I want to feel devotion, what kind of ways are going to allow me to feel full of devotion? Get what I'm saying? You get where I'm going? So it's really the healing and the transformation that we all are wanting in this life, in this world. And it really is the steps that can really help you to move into your sacred living if you're kind of confused about how to do that. And once again, what I'm sharing with you, these are just my pathways. These are just my experiences, because honestly, sisters, I cannot share anything else with you but what it is that has helped me, my pathways and my experiences, and in hopes that it will ignite your authentic living. So that's what I'm wanting for you to do today. And I would love to hear what came up for you when you do this exercise. Love it, love it, love it. It is so, so awesome and amazing to share. And I know that sometimes it can be hard to just pick 5 words, but I implore you to just take a look at, a lot of times the words mean similar things, or they have the same feeling. When you're looking at a word, listen to your body. Does your body tense up? Does your breathing become shallow? Is it fast-paced? Do you feel something in your stomach? Do you light up? Do you shudder? When you look at that word and you say it to yourself or out loud or whatever the case is, what is happening in your body? That's another indication of that word should be something that stays on your list or goes, and thinking about why. So that's all that I have for you guys today. I hope that this has been uber beneficial to you. And if it has, then I've done my job. I've met my goal for today. So I thank you so much for allowing me to share with you guys today. It was a very, very fabulous time for me to be able to speak with you all about rewilding and living sacredly and how they connect. And if you have any questions, I want you all to know that I'm available. Please ask me any questions that you need to ask. I'm available by Messenger, always, or you can email me at sherewilding@gmail.com if you don't want to do the messenger, or if you have questions that you'd like to ask me privately, then that's okay too. I'm willing to speak with you about whatever questions that you may have. So that's it. You guys have a beautiful day, and thank you again for allowing me to speak with you, and I will see you guys later. Bye.